Nice to meet you. I'm the district manager at Sherman.
My name's Matthew. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. All right. So I see from your cover letter that you're interested in our management sales trainee position.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. And so, do you have any prior experience? I see where you have worked at Sherwin-Williams, but it looks like you're new to the area. So.
Right. So me and my fiance we just recently gotten married, and we're moving out to the Lynchburg area, and I've worked at Sherwin-Williams in Lawton, Oklahoma for about a year now.
Okay.
And prior to that, I worked for my father, who owns a small construction company and rental properties in the Lawton area. And so I've kind of have both sides. I've worked with our products in the stores, and then I've worked with them obviously in the field for several years.
Awesome. So yeah, I would think that would help sales because you understand how our product works as well as how to sell it. So,
definitely.
Awesome. So would you consider that one of your strengths?
I would actually consider that as one of my strengths. Just being able to know our products on the hands-on level, as well as knowing the chemicals involved in them, and just the build-up or makeup of what our products are. And then other strengths, I'm a hard worker. I don't miss whenever I'm scheduled. I'm there all the time. Determined whenever someone brings something in for us to match or look at. I'm always determined to find the solution and how we can help them.
Awesome.
Just serve our customers the best way we can.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're looking for, someone like that. So I know everybody's had a boss that they like or they don't like. So would you explain to me about a boss that you've liked the most or the least, either
Definitely.
one?
Yeah, definitely. So the boss that I like the most, obviously I can't say my dad, but my boss at Sherwin-Williams in Lawton,
Okay.
by far, is my best boss. The reason why is because he is not afraid to get out there with you, and he doesn't micromanage you. He lets you kind of, make your mistakes as you're learning, because you're learning every day just with this job with different products and everything. He's out there every day helping you, and not afraid to actually work, unlike some managers who are, sitting in their office all day. And I know that from visiting other stores.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just there and he helps you, does everything he can. So
Okay, awesome. So he's just kind of interactive with the employees and stuff.
Definitely.
So, would you say that provided you good experience for what you would do as a management or sales trainee?
Yes, actually, that's kind of one thing I've kind of committed to myself, is that whenever I do become a manager, at some point down the road, is to build, I guess, my store kind of around what I've learned in Lawton. Just everyone kind of pitching it together, and it's a team effort. I really like that. I don't like individual people who are just individualistic.
Awesome.
Not what I want for a store, definitely.
So you said that you've worked in Lawton at one of our previous stores. So have you ever organized a project with that team? And if you have, what resources, or how did you determine which resources to use?
Yeah. So, obviously with people coming into the store every day, we kind of have different projects that pop up throughout the day or the week. And one of the things that I kind of was tasked with a few times was moving product off the shelf that's about to go bad.
Mm-hmm.
We've had to put them in like the containment area, and so the hazardous waste people can come and pick it up and take it out of the store. So we've had to look at the batch numbers and everything like that, and that was kind of one of my jobs, is moving the old batching out and setting it aside.
Okay.
Working with the manager to get it out of the store.
Awesome. So I know that they all happen, and I just kind of want to see how you handled your situation. But what's the biggest work-related problem that you've faced in the past 6 months?
So it's kind of funny. At our store, we have glass doors. Whenever you walk in, they're the only set of doors, but they have glass panels in them, and whenever you have a dolly with a 5-gallon bucket on it, you just, instead of trying to reach through it and open the door, you push it. And, well, I actually broke the glass on the door, and it shattered the whole thing, and so that was a big issue. So we had to call and get the glass people to come out and fix it. But yeah, that was the biggest issue that we had to deal with. Was on my own stupidity, but it doesn't happen every day. So
there you go. Yep. So would you say that situation allowed you to understand how to work through a struggle like that?
Definitely. So we had to, obviously, my boss made me call the glass people and tell them what happened and tell them what needed to go on to get it fixed and find the problem or fix the problem
Yeah.
with the solution. So definitely.
All right, so for a management sales trainee, it's obviously kind of a stressful job, and there's a lot of things happen at once. So, just as far as organization goes, how would you say you decide what gets top priority for scheduling your time, and like what happens when your schedule suddenly gets interrupted?
Right. So, it's kind of hard whenever you work in the store. From what I've seen with just our manager and our assistant manager, you're constantly interrupted with things throughout the day. With people coming in or people having problems and you're having to fix them. So kind of prioritizing just the way at the beginning of the day, getting as much done as you can in the mornings, paperwork wise. That way it frees up your afternoon to deal with problems coming in the door every day. So that's one way that I would kind of organize my day, is get as much done as possible in a good timely manner.
So basically, you like to focus on getting the paperwork and the more regulation style things on the slow parts of the day to free up time for
Exactly.
issues that is going to occur.
Right. Yeah, because every day, you have your specific times when people, at 2 o'clock at the Lawton store, it was 2 o'clock every day. You'd have another rush of people. So if you could get stuff done between 12 and 2, you're good to go for the day.
Yep. So like you said, sometimes people show up and there's kind of a rush, and usually when there's a rush that happens, somebody gets their feelings hurt. So,
Right.
not always. There's not always a dispute, but would you describe your most satisfying or disappointing experience when deciding like the resolution of a
Definitely.
dispute?
Yeah. So one of the obvious problems that we have is we have charge accounts, and when people charge, they don't always like to pay immediately. So after the 30 days that they close, they lock accounts out. Certain ones they leave open for 60 or 90 days, but excuse me, typically those are larger companies and larger contractors, so they don't close those accounts out. But we do have smaller contractors whose accounts get locked out, and so that's kind of frustrating for a contractor, especially if they don't get paid within the 30 days.
Absolutely.
I know that happens a lot with government work and things like that. So one of the satisfying things is being able to call the financial office and settling the dispute and getting their account opened up for them to be able to charge again. And normally, that whenever you do help them out, they end up helping you out and they get their payment and money
There you
in
go.
on a pretty quick timing. So.
Awesome. So you would say, more or less, it's just sometimes there's unforeseen circumstances that happen. So you would say it's one of your more enjoyable parts of the job is being able to help somebody.
Yeah, that's truthfully, that's one of my most satisfying things, is being able to take someone who has a problem and they're in distress and being able to figure out a way to not only save them money, because that's one good thing about Sherwin-Williams is, yes, we do have expensive products and we have the best products in the market, but when you go to a Home Depot or a Lowe's, their employees cannot change, affect the pricing and give you a good discount, whereas at Sherwin-Williams we can offer you the best products at the best pricing.
Absolutely.
And you're going to get your most for your money.
Yes, sir.
When you come to us. So
That's what I like to hear
that's
from
one
the
thing
guys
I
on
like.
the floor.
Yeah, definitely.
So at the Lawton branch, it happens a lot here, so I don't know. I'm sure it happens everywhere. So I was just curious if you have ever had conflict with a coworker, and I'm sure you have. So how did you handle that situation, and what led to the resolution with the coworker?
Definitely. So one of the issues that I have had with a coworker is a lot of people on the job, they swear and they say words and everything. That's just not really kind of my way of dealing with things. And so this particular lady likes to drop the F-bomb and different language and everything, and I don't like that. So once the store was empty one day, I kind of talked with her and said, hey, we probably shouldn't be talking that way in front of customers. And it's kind of one of those odd situations, because being a part-timer and confronting a full-time employee about the way they're talking in front of customers and just acting in front of customers, you kind of know who you're dealing with when a bigger contractor comes in. You can kind of relax with them because you kind of have not their money secure, but you have that kind of just that relationship with them that you've built, seeing them every day, and it's different whenever you have a 70-year-old grandmother coming in who spends $100 a year with us. You got to be a little more respectful and watch your tone and what you say and everything. So it was just kind of one of those awkward situations with her, but she understood at the end, like, you're actually right. We do need to watch what we say and how we act around people who aren't.
And I think that was absolutely. I think that was a smart step, waiting till after the customers had gone, so you were careful to not hurt. You more or less diffused the situation. You didn't compound it, so it's very commendable. So the last question I have for you, because I don't want to take up much more of your time. I'm sure you're a busy man trying to figure out this new area. So just kind of, would you give me an example of a time that you helped a staff member accept change and make the necessary adjustments to move forward?
Definitely. So one of the issues that we have in Lawton is we have we're a bigger commercial type store, so we house a lot of products because we do have a bigger warehouse and everything. And one of the other part-timers, he's titled as the warehouse manager, and he just can't wrap his head around why we have a certain amount of products, so much of this and so much of that. And it kind of, one day it occurred to me, just because taking business courses and knowing you never know, we don't know as part-time employees what is actually going on in the community, and being able to actually, with one of my classes that I took, we had to go out and do different projects and things in the community, and do a shadow experience and things like that. So I got to understand a little bit more of why we need as many products as we did. It's not always, oh, well, no one buys this, why do we have so much of this? It's one of those things you don't really know until something's happening. When someone walks in the door and says, I need 50 gallons of this, but you've only got 30, you got to kind of have room for things like that. And he couldn't quite wrap his head around that concept, so I kind of tried to make him think about it a different way. And at the end of the conversation, I think he started to understand it a little more of why we had so many products and different things. So,
all right. Well, I appreciate your time. I'll definitely be looking at this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
You have a good one.
Thank you too.